Hey, welcome to part 2 and let's jump right into it. First off, we have Catalyst, who is known as a creative builder. Here is her picture. She is a defensive legend and currently has no model. Her passive is called Reinforce, and standing near your ferrofluid structures, doors and other legends placeables will strengthen their integrity and allow them to take significantly more damage. Basically, when using her tactical, which I'll come on to in a second, doors and legends placeables like caustic traps and Watson pylons will gain extra health and allow them to take more damage. So this legend plays well with defensive legends who have placeables. Moving on to her tactical, Ferro Shot. On impact, the shot creates a ramp of hardened ferrofluid that can be extended with more shots. Can also be used to create platforms on walls for a max of 3 structures. Here is some footage of the tactical now.
Using my tactical. Using my tactical.
This character seems very interesting and a lot different from the others, as she has a lot of maneuverability with platforms, and as you can also see in the middle of the screen, it has the reinforcing passive that will increase integrity of structures. Next, we have the ultimate, which is called Iron Tower. Ferrofluid rises up from below, pushing you upwards while creating a tall, solid column under you. Here is some footage now. This ultimate reminds me of Horizon's Tactical, except with Horizon's Tactical you can put it down and a few seconds later your teammates can follow you. And when it disappears it means your enemies won't be able to follow you. With this, it looks like you have to communicate with your team to stand on the same spot at the right time. If they don't get there, it can also be climbed, but that means enemies can climb it, and it can also be destroyed. So whether you destroy it after going up, or whether the enemies destroy it while you're climbing it, it's a tricky one, we'll have to see. Next we have Phantom, who is an agile assassin. Here is his picture. He appears to be a support legend and currently has no model. His passive is double jump. Pressing the jump button while in the air allows you to jump again. I don't need to say anything about this, pretty obvious how it works. Next we have his tactical, Hook Shot. Hook to a wall and hang off it for a short time. Here is some footage of the ability now. To me, it seems like the ability might not be fully functioning at the moment, but the only footage we do have of it is someone not attempting to grapple to a high place. It does look a bit janky, so it might not completely work. Lastly, we have the ultimate called Void Grenade. A grenade that sends hit players into the void for a short period of time. Here is some footage now.
I'm using my ultimate. Using my ultimate.
His ultimate is quite strange really. It's quite weak, but because he's got double jump and wall hang, he's already quite strong. But the ultimate itself seems to be an advantage for the enemies that are trying to kill you. Because if you throw it at them, even if you're 1 HP and you throw it at them, they can still track you in the void and without taking damage. So yeah, I'm not really sure how you would use this ability. On second thoughts, you may be able to throw it at your whole team, which means you can all escape some impossible situations. If your enemies get caught in it, then they may be able to see you in the void, so it's a tricky one. Next up, we have Jester, who is a tricky trapper. He currently has no picture or class symbol. He does not even have a model. His passive is called Rewire. Jester can turn any grenade into a proximity mine that sticks to surfaces. Press B to toggle between modes. Spawn with a frag grenade. This seems pretty useful, as if you carry tons of grenades you can set up mines all over the place. Next we have his tactical called Spectre Drop. Call in a drop pod with 3 spectres to guard an area. Only one set can be active at a time. Here's some footage.
I'm using my tactical.
Since this ability is just a drop pod with nothing to show, I've included some Titanfall 2 footage to show you what it could look like. This ability will be quite useful in distracting the enemy and even doing some decent damage, should the ability come to fruition in the first place. It really depends on how good the bots are and how much damage they do. It's either going to be a really strong ability or a very useless one. Lastly, we have the ultimate called Cloak Field. Creates a short-lived cloaking device that hides all players in a small area. Cloak lasts for 6 seconds after leaving the cloak field. Here is what the ultimate will look like. Honestly, I think this looks like quite a fun ability, but the usefulness of it will be somewhat of a debate. I think Mirage mains will enjoy this, and it will get you out of a lot of tricky situations, and potentially could even be used offensively to sneak upon players. Who knows? Next up we have Caliber, who is known as an Apex arms dealer. This is their picture, and are currently a support legend. They have no model. The passive ability is called Weapon Sling. A sling where you can store a third weapon, accessed via inventory or H. This will be very useful, as not only can you carry 2 main weapons, if you come across a red tier weapon you can also pick it up. Other than that, I think carrying 3 main weapons might be quite a struggle, especially for ammo. Next up we have the tactical called Suppressor Turret. Deploy a makeshift turret from a copy of your active weapon. Here is some footage of both the passive and the tactical. As you can see, we will watch her pick up 2 primary weapons and a red tier weapon. Personally, I quite like the look of this turret. It does look quite weak though, despite using the Volt as its primary turret weapon. But if it was too strong for a robotic auto-aiming turret, then I think it would ruin a bit of the pacing of the game. But it's good for deterring enemies away and potentially killing enemies. Lastly, we have the ultimate called Autoloader. Deploy a box that feeds ammo directly into nearby players' current weapons. Note that it says players and not allies. Here is some footage of that ability now. Personally, I think it looks like quite a unique ultimate, and as you watch them put the box down, you can see a circle on top of the box, and what I assume is indicating the limited amount of ammo that you can take from the box. When she jumps up here, we can see a radius indicating how close you have to be to the box, and in the middle of the screen it also said autoloader engaged. Unfortunately, the user is using a Volt compared to the P20. The Volt has unlimited ammo in the training range, and the P20 would have a more traditional ammo count, so we could see how it affects the ammo count. Unfortunately, that's all the footage we have. Lastly, we have Conduit. They are an empathetic shielder. Here's the picture. They are a support legend and currently have no model. Despite Conduit being first on the list, I left them till last because unfortunately there was no footage of their abilities. Nonetheless, I will read them out to you now. The passive ability is called Capacitance. Conduit regenerates shield over time. Gain extra regen for each nearby ally. Having friendly banners also provides a bonus. Get them back in the fight. This seems like a team player character, as it will encourage you to stay as a squad, stay nearby, and don't go off solo. The tactical is called Arc Flash. Heals the shields of targeted allies at the cost of some of your shields. Hold to target, release to fire. This tactical goes hand in hand with your passive. As you regenerate shield, you can give some of that to your teammates, assuming you aren't a selfish Wraith main. Lastly, we have the ultimate, which is called Alternating Current. Conduit launches an arc cluster bomb, damaging the shields of people near the blast. Heals Conduit's shield based on the damage dealt. Overall, it's a very solid kit, and the name Conduit is very fitting, as a conduit transfers things from one place to another, and as his kit, he gains shield, he gives it to his teammates, and he even gets shield from enemy players via his ultimate, which he can even give more to his teammates. Very team-based legend, I like it. I said this in the last video, but I'll say it again, everything in this video is subject to change. Animations, the looks of characters, the names of characters, the roles, even their abilities, they might be completely different people by the time they come out. Anyway, that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. I wanted to put some more effort into it as people don't quite understand the abilities, and it's better to focus on them and try to understand them, otherwise we're just reading a bunch of nonsense. That's part 1 and part 2 done, so who knows what I'll do now. Adios.